I always say selling on Alibaba.com is kind of like being at like 5 trade shows at once.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform.
About 50 to 60%. My export business comes from Alibaba.
Going from doing one order to doing 20 or 30 orders in a 1 or 2 month period, the platform speaks for itself. That's just weight in gold.
I mean, when you do a good job with Alibaba.com, buyers from everywhere around the world, they will know about you. And I can now develop and export my product in over 45.
Once I started with Alibaba, I was able to reach people all across the world, like Tanzania and Kenya and Africa and the UK and Germany.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia.
I always say selling on Alibaba.com is kind of like being at like 5 trade shows at once.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform.
About 50 to 60%. My export business comes from Alibaba.
Going from doing one order to doing 20 or 30 orders in a 1 or 2 month period, the platform speaks for itself. That's just weight in gold.
I mean, when you do a good job with Alibaba.com, buyers from everywhere around the world, they will know about you. And I can now develop and export my product in over 45 countries.
Once I started with Alibaba, I was able to reach people all across the world, like Tanzania and Kenya and Africa and the UK and Germany.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and a host of others. I wouldn't have reached those customers without Alibaba.com.
Selling on Alibaba.com has gotten easier than ever. Introducing our new flexible payment plan options. When you sign up for an Alibaba.com seller membership, choose between paying annually or quarterly. Regardless of which plan you choose, get the same seller service and all-encompassing suite of features that make us the world's leading online B2B marketplace. With 0% commission taken on sales, keep the customer relationships you make and profits you win. Conduct business the way you want to. Build the business you've always wanted, now with more flexibility than ever. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
They made the onboarding process very, very easy. Once I paid my fees, after that, I don't need to worry about anything. If you have a product and you want to sell on international market, I would say you should not wait. You should just reach out to Alibaba.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform. The best thing that Alibaba does really is the support that you get, because it's a whole new world once you get on the platform. Eric Cross and his team, they really helped me and my team navigate the website, you know, what to do, what not to do, the best practices. So that really, to me, is like one of the greatest assets to being on the platform.
I think US-based sellers have a huge opportunity, specifically because there aren't that many of them. And we had a dedicated customer service success manager who was incredibly knowledgeable about the platform. And he honestly almost became a teammate. And I have no doubt that anyone else who is going through that process is going to have a similar experience.
Alibaba.com team is absolutely amazing. They were always there, making sure that I understand the platform. They were smart, very reactive whenever I had a question, and they were so patient. And as I continue to grow the business, they continue to connect me with experts to help me with specific business questions.
Why we got such a fast sale, I would attribute it to Alibaba's onboarding team. They've done a really great job building our store for us, and that's one of the reasons why we're so successful, is they know what they're doing, so we trust them to do their job.
Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Chen and I'm a marketing manager here at Alibaba.com North America, and joining me here today is Fred Lee, who is an enterprise account executive here. Today we have our webinar, Connect Your Brand to Global Retailers and Distributors, the most important tips for brand owners to expand globally in 2023. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we begin, I would like to first play you and show you a little bit about what Alibaba.com is so you have some idea before we begin the presentation. So please enjoy. Unleash infinite business opportunities with Alibaba.com, the world's largest online B2B marketplace. With over 40 million active buyers, 300,000 daily inquiries, important business deals are being made around the world all the time using our platform. Best of all, we take 0% commission on your sales. By signing up as an Alibaba.com supplier, you keep the money you earn, every single cent. Now is the perfect time to sign up. Professional onboarding services can get you started faster and with less stress than ever. Take advantage of classic Alibaba.com features, such as attracting buyers from over 200 countries and regions to your online store, where they can reach out with inquiries about your products. There's also no need to worry about language barriers. We translate your store and messages into 15 languages so you can communicate with the world with ease. Proactively net orders by browsing and responding to sourcing requests on the Request for Quotation or RFQ market. Any relationships you gain from reaching out to sourcers on the RFQ market are yours. Finally, attain exclusive data-driven insights and 24/7 customer support from our team right here in the USA. We help guide you to success using proprietary insight gained from our over 20 years in online B2B sales. Because of these features, Alibaba.com has become the wholesale B2B platform trusted by US suppliers. Grow with us no matter your business type. Now it's easier than ever to start selling with our new flexible payment options. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
Okay, so now we're back. And so hopefully that gives you a few basic background information on what Alibaba.com is. Here I want to run through the content of this presentation. So first we're going to learn about Alibaba.com, the platform itself. And then we're going to talk about how Alibaba.com can help connect you to retailers and distributors and how we're a major part of that process. And then we're going to go into how the power of Alibaba.com can help you get noticed by these retailers and distributors. And finally go into some case studies on how to start selling in case you do decide to register for the platform. Before we start, I wanted to first get to know you and see how you feel about different parts of the platform. So question number 1. Okay, so first question is, what are you looking to do on Alibaba.com? Are you looking to sell products, source products, or both sell and source products? And this will help us like get a kind of idea of what you guys are looking for. Yeah, so we're gonna run the question for a few more seconds. And okay, and thank you so much for participating. It looks like most of you guys are looking to sell or source and sell products, which is really cool. That's really wonderful. That's most of our team here today is here to teach you about what selling on the platform is like. So this is really wonderful news. Next, you'd like to learn a little bit more about your business. So what kind of business are you? Are you a manufacturer, a wholesaler and distributor, or maybe a retailer or some other kind of business? And of course, when you tell us about this, we might be able to help answer specific questions more tailored to you. And remember, if you do have any questions throughout the entire presentation, you can leave them at the Q&A box below, and you can do that anytime during the presentation, and we will address them at the very end. Yeah. Okay. And it looks like most of you guys are distributors or retailers, which is really interesting. Shall see. And then finally, what we would like to know, like what you would like to know from us. And this might help us also think about how we want to structure this talk as well. Some questions include, some answers include how to best use Alibaba.com if you're a brand, or how we can actually do those connections between retailers and distributors, and also how your brand can expand using our platform, or what tools you can use to actually find the right customers for you, because not every customer might be the kind of customer that you're looking for. Yeah. Okay, So it looks like most of you guys are interested in seeing like how what Alibaba.com tools you can use to get your products in front of the right customers. And if that's the case, then I think you guys should really pay attention to the third part of this talk. Well, okay, so thank you so much for participating. I'm going to turn things over to Fred.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is Fred from Alibaba Enterprise Partnership. Thanks for everyone for joining today again. So I'll be walking through the basic, program interview primarily for the Alibaba GGS program. Oh, let me pull up my slides, which gives you the basic understanding of like how to start selling on Alibaba. While I know if any of you are like interested in like professional sourcing service and other content, feel free to schedule like the personal consultation with me after this meeting so I can provide you like more tailored information as well. So I know like many of you like maybe you have like a different extent of knowledge to like Alibaba.com and the B2B marketplace. So I'll begin with that. While many of you might be familiar with B2C e-commerce or the general e-commerce concept, it is actually fascinating to note the B2B e-commerce is actually estimated to be 6 times larger in value compared to B2C. So when you're striving to set up your Amazon, Shopify, and other retail channels, you can actually get like a much higher average order value through B2B, and they're reoccurring. We're talking about maybe 1,500 to like 10,000 order value, like as a average order value, and then they come from serious business buyers who will give you reoccurring business opportunities. So it is really fascinating to recognize that B2B e-commerce size. And along with the, among the B2B marketplace, Alibaba really stands at the front, like the very forefront as the leading business-to-business e-commerce platform for global trading. So today I'll be guiding you through our various tools designed specifically for certain sellers and buyers. And then hopefully you can find the information which is like more relevant and tailored to your business and your industry. To kick off with some trends, again, us like the #1 B2B marketplace in the world. I hate to say this, but we don't really have a competitor in this field because we are like the only established B2B marketplace. We have more than 14 million buyers on our market, and then we've been setting this B2B marketplace for more than 20 years in the industry. The buyers will be connecting with more than 200,000 suppliers from all around the world. You're accessing to suppliers, manufacturers, the different kinds of sellers from more than 200 regions. We have real-time technology empowerment and content translation tools to help you appeal to buyers and sellers who speak 18 different languages. And then speaking of listing or SKUs, we have more than 200 million products available online as a catalog. So speaking of the geographic data, United States will be our #1 buyer base. I think around 20% to 25% of the buyers come from the United States. That's roughly 8 million to 10 millions. And then I assume like many of you are like headquarters in the US. A lot of US sellers find successful exporting to Canada and Mexico markets, as those are low-hanging fruits for US sellers or North American sellers in general. Canadian market and Mexican market are actually the 3rd and 5th largest buyer group on Alibaba.com, as you can see from the ranking charts on the left. And then we have suppliers from all around the world, but we are constantly getting this feedback from our buyer group that they are craving for more US-based supply or North American supply in general. So if that's what your business can really fit in, it is a very good opportunity to start selling on Alibaba.com. This page gives you a brief understanding of like the core value proposition or like the program features that we provide. I think most of the items on here are pretty much self-explanatory, and now I'll dive into some more specific details in the following parts. But basically, two major ways to sell on Alibaba. First is that through the storefront or product listing. So it looks like like Amazon or like other general e-commerce website, like that you're listing your product and service online. But then the true beauty of the Alibaba is that we focus on this human connecting service. So you actually get to connect with those buyers, parties, and interested parties directly, save their contact information as your permanent assets. You have your sole discretion, who to do business with, who not to, and then whether to require them to sign up your contract, follow your procedure, etc. The transaction doesn't have to be, going through Alibaba.com online, as we're not taking any commission from transactions. So storefront and product listing, very powerful way to sell. Another way to sell is the request for quotation market listed on the right side of the screen. So I'll dive into more details later, but that's basically when the buyer requests for a certain quotation to a certain seller, they're encouraged to send that request to the public market as well, so they can either compare price or find out like more supplying opportunities. So a lot of sellers actually send in those like quotations proactively, even though the buyer were interested in their particular brands or service at the very beginning. But then say like if one US buyer is looking for a certain looking for products in your category, and then so far they only got quotations from Asian suppliers, they'll be very interested to see someone from the United States or North America to quote them proactively for the products they're interested in. So that's another way to sell. Here are some top trends across Alibaba.com. Again, like we really cover basically all the legal categories that can be traded like in the B2B scenarios. If you are interested in certain like impression data or traffic data of your certain category, feel free to reach out to me or set up this consultation so I can provide like more tailored data or reference. For example, food and beverage is actually one of the largest category on Alibaba right now. I believe in the past 30 days, we got more than 34 million, I think, impressions over that category. And that's not general traffic. That's a valuable, serious business buying intention coming from real business users. So that is good to keep in mind that how much traffic you are getting through the platform. And even if your business is only getting a small fraction of it, you should be all set on your wholesaling or B2B sales growth. Here are 5 types of trending top suppliers and product qualities that we see are getting most success through Alibaba.com. If your brands or business fits in just like one of them, you'll be doing great on Alibaba. If you have like 2 or 3 of those capacities, you will be skyrocketing in ROI wise on Alibaba. So product IP or brand IP, if either your raw material or your consumer facing brand is already very established, then you will be expecting a lot of increase because you have that IP established already. If you have capitalization capabilities, that makes a unique, very distinctive advantage on Alibaba as well. Because again, like Alibaba focus or we encourage this direct communication and human connecting service. It is much harder to do, through other platforms who wanted to be that middleman and don't want to encourage the direct communication between buyers and sellers. Quality and certification and supplier relationships, so that basically reflects on the price and the service level agreements you are able to deliver to the buyers. The buyers on Alibaba, they should be like very mature B2B buyers most of the time. So if you have those advantages, they should be marketing like those numbers will speak for your business on the website. And then going to the next part, I'm gonna explain, and for the most part, I'm gonna show you some successful stories from Alibaba sellers to see to help you understand like how Alibaba will link with retailers and distributors in otherwise, which might be difficult to find connection with. So the first example comes from this CPG, or we say consumer packaged goods seller, because it's Skinny. They sell pasta, and they have been very successful transforming from like a D2C or B2C module only into the B2B field. So let's watch a short video and hear what they say.
Creating a business is like hitting a base hit. Creating a brand is like hitting a grand slam. I'm a big advocate of creating a business first and then creating a brand around what your business looks like and then scaling that brand. The mission of It's Skinny is to bring as
I apologize.
much low glycemic pasta to everyone who needs it as possible. There are so many people who have a dietary restriction or want to eat better, but don't know how to get started. We make it easy. Our product is ready in 2 minutes and it's low glycemic. You don't have to make a radical lifestyle shift to eat better. You just have to put one foot in front of the other. We knew we had a product, but we had to make it a business. You know, we had a decision of, do we want to just be an e-commerce business or do we really want to focus on retail? We wanted to be as available as all of the big players in pasta, and that means having a retail presence.
Yeah, what's Skinny? It's gluten-free. No way.
We've done a really good job at building our brand over the last 3 years, getting into retail stores. But within that, there are some gaps. And that's why we're really excited about Alibaba.com, because Alibaba.com is going to help us fill those gaps. On the digital side, I would love to see Alibaba.com start to replace a lot more of the business that we're doing from other platforms, quite simply because Alibaba.com doesn't have their hands in our pocket. We pay a platform fee and they're not charging us per transaction. And we also have an opportunity to penetrate certain distributors that we wouldn't otherwise be able to reach through traditional retail sales channels. They're not listed, you know, the bodegas in New York City, the stores in Chicago. Alibaba.com is one of the only ways that you can proactively try to get in front of those distributors that we're trying to get in front of. I think US-based sellers have a huge opportunity, specifically because there aren't that many of them. And we had a dedicated customer service success manager who was incredibly knowledgeable about the platform. And he honestly almost became a teammate. And I have no doubt that anyone else who is going through that process is going to have a similar experience. The most important piece of advice that I could give somebody would be to find something that means enough to you where you can have a singular focus on it and be very purpose-driven in what you're trying to create. When you have that, you will communicate more passionately, and you will also be more incentivized to stick with it through the hard times, and that's going to propel you to a bright future.
Right. So as you can hear from like his skinning, so there are even if you are like not in the B2B like the game yet, if you are like thinking of like starting with like the major retailers, those retailer purchasers like buyers, they're on Alibaba.com as well. They don't proactively market that, but they're on there. And then what you are hearing from It's Skinny is that Alibaba can help you fill the gaps. You're actually you get in a very established like diversity of different kinds of like retailers, resellers, distributors to help your products thrive. Like in the case of like either distribution network or just like wholesaling to your end users. One of the tools Skinny have been using is definitely the online storefront. As mentioned, like we actually have our localized account management team to support you to set up your online storefront, upload the first several, or maybe to around like 100 products for you, so you don't have to worry too much about like the setup process. The buyer contact information is all yours. We encourage this, direct communication and the direct negotiation with the buyers. You have your sole discretion of like how you want to communicate with them and what's the process dealing with the interested party or buyers. We charge zero commission because we don't force any transaction go through the online platform. If you do want the transaction to go through the online platforms, we do offer this trade assurance, which is usually offered by financial institutions, but also offered by Alibaba.com as part of the service at a much lower rate compared to traditional financial institutions. RFQ market is actually another feature they utilize a lot. I think that's one of the features I mentioned, which is great for selling. You actually get to proactively search for other people to request and respond to them. So with our supplier package, you get those quotas they can respond to those requests proactively per month. And then if you ever use up that quota, you actually get some like rewards like by the system, to encourage you like responding to more of those requests. So that is a really great tool to gauge your product's potentials in international market. Another tool which comes in handy quite often is myalibaba.com. So that's basically your seller portal or backend. But then compared to like traditional tools or like other platforms, it actually gives you a lot more business intelligence function to help you analyze the keywords trends, discuss the new business opportunities. Many functions are usually if you're familiar with other platforms, are usually like paid feature or like realized by third-party widgets or functions, while like myalibaba.com really provides you that full solution for your business intelligence operating on Alibaba. So you don't have to worry too much about tools or like digital marketing on Alibaba platform. Going to the next part, the power of Alibaba.com, I'm just going to continue to show you some examples from other industries. This wholesaler jewelry, they're based in the U.S. and they've been found the success through our RTS feature that is ready to ship. So that is usually in the scenario where you want to make your sampling process much more smoother, while like for certain kind of buyers, for example, like drop shippers or smaller retailers, it could be a really good like daily sales tool as well. So let's hear from this seller.
Hi, I'm Tony Grisafi, CEO of wholesalejewelrywebsite.com. The job as a business owner is to push the company into new markets and to move product. We have over 1 million pieces of jewelry that are ready to ship. So I had to think of a way to have a farther reach without actually going anywhere. And the way to do that is B2B. We export to 5 or 6 different countries right now. There's a lot of e-commerce retailers looking for new suppliers that are reliable. I think reliability is key, and there's not a lot of reliability in the market. And I think having a great platform with great SEO is very important to our success. They say opportunity only knocks once. So when Alibaba decided to launch in the US, I thought it was a great opportunity for wholesaleJewelryWebsite.com to be available to 40 plus million buying consumers, which is just unheard of. I mean, if you just look at it percentages wise, if you get a fraction of a percent, you're going to be doing just fine. And I think the RTS is what's made us so successful so quickly, because our products are on there with our inventory attached to it, ready to ship today. Another thing I like about Alibaba is I don't have to focus so much on SEO. They have an inboard program that does it for you. So it makes it really easy. So I don't have to worry about Google ad spend, Facebook ad spend, Instagram, Pinterest. I don't have to worry about all that, because as long as you're a really good communicator, they're going to put you to the top of the feed because they want the best for their consumers. Why we got such a fast sale, I would attribute it to Alibaba's onboarding team. They've done a really great job building our store for us. And that's one reason why we're so successful, is they know what they're doing. So we trust them to do their job, and they did it really well.
Right. So we did talk about SEO and marketing there. Like Alibaba.com has a very strong domain name and a lot of paid search engine optimization and marketing efforts. Just by listing on Alibaba.com, your category keywords and your brand name is being co-marketed with a very large scale marketing campaigns monitoring by Alibaba.com. So that's the external side, and the internal side, as Tony just mentioned, the program, the platform itself is highly organic. Respond to those buying inquiries or intentions quickly. We'll get your star rating boosted, and then we'll get you on top of the search results. while you have like other paid advertising too as well, like keyword advertising or premium sponsored ads. Like after you optimize your store listing, you're picking up like the Alibaba store operations. It is common that people find their ROI skyrocketing from some very simple, keyword advertising and sponsored ads campaign. So for cases like those, I think we'll drop in the link in the Zoom chat as well. We have a whole playlist called like Alibaba USA's seller success stories. I think they are like really inspirational, even for me to look at, like hearing how like different kinds of sellers and manufacturers are getting success on Alibaba.com. So I highly encourage you to check out those as well. Here, just another. I think this guy is like more from like the material side or like a manufacturer role. And let's hear what they say.
I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps moving equipment all over the world. One of the things that our equipment was exposed to was lots of salt damage. We had these tankers lined up in the back. I walked out there one day, I took a hammer, I hit the side of the tank and I went through them. The corrosion had eaten right through the tanks. We had to throw them all away, $1 million worth of equipment from salt fog. Had we had this coating, we never would have lost that equipment.
I began in 2003 to develop the world's most durable coating that you couldn't scratch, solvent, acids, UV rays wouldn't attack, and would have extreme corrosion resistance. And that's where we came up with the NanoClear brand.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and a host of others. We wouldn't have reached those customers without Alibaba.com. We made money the first year. Typically, what I have found on trade shows is there's a lot of tire kickers and nobody buys. And so what I find at Alibaba is there's 40 million buyers. They're all looking to buy. When the pandemic was here, if you weren't electronic marketing, you weren't doing very well. Alibaba.com really helped us survive that. And now we're reaching out even more so worldwide. One of our customers came to us and he said, well, I do pools. Can you coat a pool? Let's go coat it. It looked gorgeous. And he said, well, when am I going to have to come back to recoat this? Later this year? I said, no, how about 10 years? He was shocked. If you don't have a belief in that product that it's going to work, you shouldn't sell it. I'm at the hip with this phone 24/7. Top right corner is an Alibaba supplier, because sometimes in the middle of the night, they're zinging me up on that line. Sometimes at midnight isn't such a good thing for me, but it is a good thing for business. Boom, I get the call. There we go.
And there goes, like expanding to international story. Like, and again, just by displaying, your company information, product and service on there, you actually might just be, exploring a lot of like international business opportunities that you never thought of, like before you join this like powerful global platform. So yeah, I strongly recommend. I recommend you to check out like the US seller story playlist on YouTube, and then yeah, we'll be dropping that link in the YouTube. So I also want to like quickly cover the onboarding process, or like how to start selling. It's really simple. As a B2B platforms, we do need this business verification to verify like you are a legitimate business, and then we want to display to the buyers that you are a legitimate business to win their trust as well. And then as mentioned, we have this US-based account management team who will help you with storefront building, product uploading, etc. So you don't have to get that headache about like, the operational details at the very beginning. Through your growth stage, the first year, you will be offered with Alibaba Seller Training e-course, which we'll call ASTE complimentary, and then you can schedule those one-on-one meetings with your account manager to discuss your tailored needs or operational demands anytime. The cost structure is totally up to you, but then again, like think of Alibaba as like an online trade show or like a trade show alternative. Some of the sellers that like going like listing on Alibaba is like going to 5 or 10 trade show at once. So if your team has, the expertise on e-commerce marketing already, you already know how to operate on a business-to-business platform. Many people start with the standard package, which involves less domestic support. But then with your expertise, you are looking at less than $300 per month. That's less than, one flight ticket or one hotel stay compared to, all of your trade show or other marketing efforts expense. If you are still starting, getting into that e-commerce marketing field, you need like more support and more expertise from the Alibaba team. Definitely consider premium or the verified supplier package, which involves like more domestic support. And for the verified supplier package, we have, more, badges and, verification process to give you like more star rating and more, weight in our algorithm to better promote your products in your company. That is roughly 3 times to 5 times to the normal traffic. And then these are only available for qualified sellers at the moment. If you are interested, feel free to scan the QR code or click the link from the chat to schedule a personal consultation with me, and I'm happy to provide more information. These information will be available on us.alibaba.com as well if you're interested. And then I'll be having some of the quotas for exclusive discounts for webinar attendees today. So if you're interested, feel free to use that QR code link or click the link through the chat to schedule that consultation with me. And then coming up, we have right. Let's check our Q&A for now. I want to leave more times for our Q&A and answer as many questions as we can.
Hello. So thank you so much for that wonderful session, Freddie. That was really great. Thank you for taking us through so many different Alibaba.com features. And so I don't really see a ton of questions, but if you still want to submit any last minute questions, you can. One question that I see is why do people what makes the buyers different on Alibaba.com as opposed to other e-commerce sites?
Right. So I think I briefly covered this in the very beginning as well. So if we're talking about B2B e-commerce, Alibaba is quite, I don't want to say the only, but one of the few, successful module on the planet right now. So if you're thinking of Shopify, Amazon, or general B2C platforms, that is an add to cart service. You don't require them to sign up your contract. You have no control over how they're gonna resell your products, how they're gonna market your product, etc. You don't really choose who to deal business and who not to. And then most importantly, the platform is being the middleman. They're trying everything they can to prevent you from contacting the buyers and interest parting directly. So, and that's the big difference compared to Alibaba. So we really focus on that human connecting service. We have a strong understanding, sitting in this industry for 20 years, we know B2B transaction, wholesaling, those could be complicated. Those could take a lot of negotiations. So we really encourage this direct communication. And then think of it as going to a trade show, right? So when you go to a trade show, you met the buyer for the first year, for the second year, for the third year. Even if the buyer didn't come to the trade show at the fourth year, but that buyer might place an order with you at the fourth year because you already have that network and connection, and that is your permanent asset. So I hope that provides some clarity, on that comparison scenario.
Yeah, I think that's a really wonderful way to answer that question. And finally, another question, which is if you already have buyers and stuff that you already know in person, or whether or not they're wholesalers and distributors, I guess, why should you go onto this platform and look for other ones?
Right. I think I'm not sure if that person missed the skinny demo earlier. So basically we just showed one seller story who who had those large retailers or large retail network done already, established already, but then they have bodegas in New York or other small retailers. Really, a variety of the sellers that you can get in touch with only through Alibaba.com, but not through like the traditional channels. So that's one great way to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer too. Well, thank you so much for everyone who joined us today. Actually, do you want to like show the schedule with like the upcoming ones?
Right, let me
So there
share
are
again.
actually two more webinars coming up with special guests for like this month, and then I think the beginning of August. And the next one is next week, next Wednesday with State, and they do data analytics. So if you're like very interested in knowing how you can use data analytics to expand your e-commerce store, that's a really wonderful one to tune into. And then the last one in August is the one with virtual events group. So it's like, how can you use virtual events to showcase your products, so like showcase what you can do so that people feel just as comfortable buying from you than if they were to personally go to your factory and stuff like that. So if you're interested in those are two different QR codes for different registration pages. So definitely take a picture or keep track of them for now. And thank you so much for staying with us for all this time. We hope this was really interesting and useful to you. There will also be a survey being sent to your email afterwards where you can give your thoughts. And that always helps us improve these for every week. So thank you so much for joining us.
Right, thanks so much, and looking forward to speaking a few of you in our consultations.
Yes.